I pushed open Lena's apartment door with a tired sigh. "Lena? I'm here early," I called out, rubbing my eyes after a long shift. No answer, just a soft whisper coming from the bedroom. Then a quiet laugh. A laugh I knew too well. "That's Lena," I muttered, forcing a smile. Probably talking to Maya or someone. But then I heard another voice. A deeper one. Mel. Familiar. My heart froze. No way, I whispered to myself. I walked down the hallway, each step heavier than the last. Their voices got clearer. "Stop, Adrian," Lena whispered. "I can't," he said softly. My hand tightened on the door handle. "Adrian?" My voice cracked before I even opened the door. Silence. Then muffled movement. I pushed the door open. Lena jerked away from him, her shirt half buttoned. Adrian looked like he'd seen a ghost. Wait bro, it's not what it looks like," he stammered. I stared at them, my breath shaking. "Then tell me," I said. "Tell me what this is." Lena stepped toward me with tears forming instantly. I can explain." "Explain?" I laughed, but it came out hollow. "Explain why my best friend is in your bedroom? Explain why you were laughing like he belonged here." Adrian lifted his hands. "It just happened." My chest burned. "It just happened?" I repeated louder. "You don't just happen into my girlfriend's bed, Adrian." Lena grabbed my arm. "Please don't yell. I'm sorry. I made a mistake." I pulled my arm away like her touch was fire. "A mistake." My voice trembled. "How long?" She shook her head violently. No, it's not like that." "How long?" I shouted. Adrian swallowed hard. "A few weeks." My vision blurred. A ringing filled my ears. "We didn't want to hurt you," Lena whispered. "You did," I said, breathing hard. "You hurt me the moment you let him touch you." She cried harder. "I didn't mean for it to go this far." "But it did," I snapped. "And you still let me come here every day. You still kissed me. You still told me you loved me." Adrian stepped forward. "Man, please, listen." I pointed at him. "You don't talk." He froze. I shook my head slowly, laughing bitterly. "My best friend. The guy I trusted with everything. And this is what you do." Lena sobbed into her hands. Please don't leave like this." I looked at her, and in that moment, it felt like my heart actually cracked. "I loved you," I whispered. "And you killed that love in 1 second." She reached for me again. "I can fix this." "No," I said firmly. "You can't fix betrayal." Adrian tried again. "Bro." I glared at him. "Don't call me bro ever again." He looked down, speechless. I stepped back toward the door. "You both made your choice. Now live with it." Lena screamed my name as I walked out, but I didn't look back. I couldn't. When the door shut behind me, the hallway felt colder than ever. I leaned against the wall, breathing like someone had punched the air out of my lungs. What did I do to deserve this? I whispered. No answer came. Just the echo of my own breaking heart. I walked out of the building in a daze, the world suddenly too quiet, too sharp, too painful. That moment, the door, their faces, the lies, became the exact second my old life died. And I knew, deep in my shaking chest, nothing would ever be the same again. I didn't sleep the night after everything fell apart. I just stared at the ceiling, replaying Lena's voice, Adrian's face, the way the room felt like it was closing in on me. My chest hurt every time I breathed. Why? I kept whispering into the darkness. What did I do wrong? No answer. Only silence. The next morning, I grabbed my phone with trembling fingers and tried calling Lena. Blocked. I tried Adrian. No answer. So that's it, I muttered. You destroy me and disappear? Work felt impossible. My hands shook on the steering wheel as I drove. My eyes burned from lack of sleep. When I walked into the office, everything felt unreal, like I was drifting. Maya stopped me near my desk. Hey Ethan, you okay? You look pale. I'm fine, I said quickly. She frowned. You don't look fine. I said I'm fine, I repeated a little too sharply. Her shoulders dropped. If you ever need to talk. I don't, I cut her off. I knew I sounded rude, but I couldn't think straight. I just wanted to disappear. I sat down and stared at my computer screen. The words blurred. My mind kept drifting. Why him? Was I not enough? Did she ever love me? Every thought felt like another punch to the ribs. During lunch, my friend Jacob came up behind me. Dude, you skipped yesterday. Everything okay? I shook my head. Please, don't ask. You sat down anyway. You know you can talk to me. No, I said quietly. I can't. He looked confused. Why not? Because I don't have the strength to say it out loud. Jacob stayed silent for a moment, then nodded slowly. All right. But you're scaring us. I forced a smile. I'll be fine. But I wasn't. Not even close. That night I lay awake again. Images kept flashing. Lena's panicked eyes, Adrian's guilty stare, my own voice cracking. I groaned into my pillow. Stop. Please stop. My phone buzzed. A message from Maya. Maya, you left early today. At least eat something. Maya, I made extra soup. Want me to bring you some? I typed no, I'm okay, then erased it. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what I felt. Finally, I wrote maybe tomorrow. She replied instantly. Okay, I'll check on you. I dropped the phone and stared at the wall. Why was she trying so hard? Why did I feel guilty accepting help? The next morning, I avoided everyone. I skipped lunch. I left work early. I turned off my phone. I ignored the door when someone knocked. My world felt smaller every day. One evening, Maya cornered me in the hallway before I could escape. Ethan, please stop pretending you're okay. I sighed. I'm really tired, Maya. I don't want to talk. Then don't talk, she said softly. Just don't shut everyone out. I have to, I whispered. If I don't, I'll break in front of everyone. Her eyes softened. Then break in front of me. My throat tightened. Why do you care? Because I've seen this before, she said. People fall apart quietly. I don't want you to be one of them. I didn't answer. I couldn't. She stepped back slowly. I'll wait for you to let someone in. When she walked away, the silence returned, heavier than ever. That night, alone in my room, I admitted something to myself. I'm losing myself, I whispered. And I don't know how to stop it. The betrayal wasn't just a moment. It was a poison spreading through every part of my life. And I was drowning quietly, slowly, helplessly. I walked into the office the next morning feeling like I was dragging the weight of a whole week behind me. My eyes stung, my chest felt tight, and I kept telling myself, just get through today. But the moment my boss, Ms. Rivera, called my name, I knew something was about to break. Ethan, she said, closing the door behind me. Sit down. We need to talk. I swallowed hard. If this is about my performance. It is, she interrupted gently. You've been slipping. Badly. I know, I whispered. She leaned forward. I'm giving you 2 options. My pulse jumped. Options. Yes. She held up 2 fingers. 1, take a long mental break. Paid leave. Step away, heal, breathe. I shook my head immediately. I don't want to leave. Then option 2, she continued. Join the new internal training program. It's intensive. Challenging. It'll force you to rebuild structure. I stared at my hands. Why are you offering me this? Because I don't want to lose you, she said. But I will if you keep going like this. I let out a shaky breath. I don't want to fall apart anymore. Then fight, she said quietly. Make a choice. I closed my eyes. The room felt too still. Too sharp. I choose the program, I finally said. I'm tired of sinking. Ms. Rivera nodded once. Good. You start today. You'll meet with Mr. Grant. My eyes opened. Mr. Grant? The consultant everyone talks about? That's the one, she said. He's direct. Brutal sometimes. But effective. I forced a weak smile. Perfect. Brutal sounds familiar. She didn't smile back. Be honest with him. Or he'll see through you anyway. I left her office with my heart pounding. A choice, I told myself. You finally made a choice. When I entered the training room, an older man with sharp eyes and a calm posture glanced up from a folder. You must be Ethan. That's me, I said, trying to sound steady. He gestured to the chair opposite him. Sit. I did. He studied me for a moment before speaking. Before we start, I need to tell you something. I braced myself. Okay. I see pain in your eyes, he said flatly. My breath hitched. That obvious? Pain always is, he replied. People think they're hiding it. You're drowning in it. I looked away. I'm trying to keep it together. No, he said. You're running. There's a difference. His words hit me hard, sharper than I expected. I didn't come here to run. Good, he said. Because I won't let you. I blinked. You won't let me? No, he leaned forward. Pain is a tool. Use it. Something inside me froze, then shifted, like someone had just turned a key in a locked door. Use it how? Let it teach you, he said. Let it shape you. Pain can destroy you or it can sharpen you. The choice is yours. I swallowed. I don't know if I'm strong enough. You don't need to be, he said. You just need to start. I exhaled slowly. Then how do I start? By telling the truth, he said. Not to me. To yourself. My hands trembled slightly in my lap. The truth is, I feel broken. That's a beginning, he said. Not an end. I looked at him, feeling something unfamiliar. Hope, maybe. Or just the memory of it. So this program, it'll help me rebuild? It'll help you face yourself, he replied. Rebuilding comes after. I nodded. Then I'm ready. Or at least, I want to be. That's enough for today, he said. But remember this, you chose to fight. Don't forget that tomorrow. When I walked out of the room, my chest felt different. Still bruised, still aching, but no longer hollow. For the first time since everything collapsed, I felt a flicker of something warm. I wasn't healed. Not even close. But I had made a choice. And I wasn't done yet. The next morning, I walked into the training room expecting something simple. Maybe worksheets, maybe lectures. But Mr. Grant didn't waste a second. Stand straight, he said the moment he saw me. Your posture tells me everything. I stiffened. Everything? You're carrying fear in your shoulders, he replied. Drop it. I exhaled and adjusted myself. Better? Not yet, he said. But you're trying. His sharp eyes moved across my face like he was reading a page. Today we start with control. Speak. Tell me why you're here. I hesitated. Because I chose to fight. He shook his head. Not good enough. Say what you really mean. My chest tightened. I'm here because I don't want pain to rule me anymore. That, he said, is the first honest thing you've said today. His words stung but woke something inside me. We spent the next hour going through exercises, breathing, grounding, emotional redirection. Every time I faltered, he cut in with a calm but demanding tone. Focus, he said. I'm trying, I muttered. Trying is passive. Do it. I clenched my jaw. Fine. I'll do it. Good, he said. That's the fire you've been hiding. When the session ended, he pointed to another room. Your communication training starts now. Chloe is waiting. I walked in and saw her. Quiet posture, gentle presence, soft voice that somehow settled the chaos in my chest. She smiled softly. Hi, Ethan. I'll be helping you with speech and clarity. I don't know if I'm good at talking, I admitted. You don't need to be, she said. You just need to be real. Her tone was so calm it made me lower my guard. Real is messy. Then be messy, she replied. Just don't be silent. We practiced articulation, confidence, pacing. She listened without judgment, and every time I stumbled, she encouraged me gently. You're improving, she said after one exercise. You think so? I do, she nodded. Your voice shakes less. I laughed quietly. That's progress, I guess. It is, she said. And you're allowed to be proud of yourself. Proud. It had been a long time since that word meant anything. As the days passed, the training grew tougher. Mr. Grant challenged my thoughts. You let emotions control you, he said. I'm working on it. Work harder. He pushed me physically and mentally, long hours, direct confrontations, exercises that forced me to look at my own reflection and accept the cracks. But somehow each lesson made me feel alive again. At night the pain still found me. Memories of Lena's laugh, Adrian's betrayal, the image of them together, it all returned like a storm in the dark. But now I had tools. I had structure. I had something to fight back with. One afternoon as I walked past the break area, I heard two coworkers whispering. Did you see Adrian's new post? Yeah. He's showing off Lena again. My stomach twisted instantly. He's really flaunting her, the other said. My breath stuttered. Again. My heartbeat felt like a bruise reopening. I gripped the edge of the doorway, trying not to crumble. Mr. Grant appeared behind me without warning. You heard them. I nodded slowly. Yeah. He studied my shaking hands. What do you feel? Anger, I said. Pain. The kind that makes you want to break something. Good, he said. Feel it. I blinked at him. Good? Pain can break you or build you, he said firmly. Choose which one it becomes. His words hit deeper than I expected. I want it to build me. Then use it, he said. Let it sharpen you. That night as I lay in bed, my heart still aching, I whispered the line to myself again and again. Pain can break you or build you. And for the first time I believed I could choose. Training hit me harder than I expected. Every morning Mr. Grant pushed me until my muscles ached and my thoughts burned. Again, he ordered as I stumbled during a focus drill. I'm already trying, I said, breathing hard. Trying isn't enough, he replied. Push past the shaking. That's where growth begins. I clenched my jaw and repeated the exercise. My hands trembled, but I didn't stop. Not this time. When the session ended, I leaned against the wall trying to catch my breath. Do you ever ease up? No, he said. Ease creates weakness. You don't need weakness anymore. I nodded because he was right. I didn't need softness. I didn't need old wounds. I needed something stronger to replace them. Chloe showed up with a notebook. Ready for verbal training? Not really, I said, but let's do it. She smiled gently. Confidence is a muscle. We'll build it slowly. We sat across from each other and she made me practice speaking with clarity. Say it again, she said softly. But this time don't hold your breath. I repeated the sentence, forcing steadiness into my voice. That's better, she said. You're improving faster than you think. Feels slow, I admitted. That's because you're hurting, she whispered, and healing never feels fast. Her kindness settled something inside me. I caught myself smiling, small, shaky but real. Did you just smile? She asked. I guess I did. That's progress too. Day after day the routine continued. Physical drills, mental exercises, and speaking sessions. Slowly my voice stopped breaking. My spine straightened. My breath steadied. I wasn't healed, far from it, but I wasn't collapsing anymore. One afternoon during a short break I opened my phone without thinking. A notification popped up. Adrian's new post. My chest tightened as the picture loaded. Adrian kissing Lena on the beach, her caption. My peace, my future. My hand froze. Chloe noticed immediately. What happened? I showed her the screen. She frowned. I'm sorry. It's fine. I cut her off even though it wasn't. Not yet. Let me just breathe. Mr. Grant walked over, glanced at the picture and looked at me. Does it hurt? Yes, I said honestly. But not the same way it used to. How does it hurt now? Not like a wound, I whispered. More like fuel. He nodded once. Good. Pain is energy. Only you decide what it becomes. Something inside me hardened, clean, cold, steady. I won't break because of them again, I said. You won't, he replied. Unless you choose to. That night, lying in the dark, I stared at the ceiling as their picture replayed in my mind. But instead of tears, a strange focus settled over me. I'll rise, I whispered into the empty room. And they'll regret ever hurting me. The words didn't feel like hope. They felt like a promise. For the first time since the betrayal, I felt myself standing, maybe not fully, maybe not perfectly, but standing all the same. My improvement came faster than I expected. Every day, I felt something inside me sharpen, like a blade being polished. During morning drills, Mr. Grant nodded at me with rare approval. You're getting faster, he said. I'm thinking clearer, I replied, finishing the last repetition without stumbling. You're also calmer, he added. That's the real progress. His words landed deep. Calm wasn't something I'd felt in months, yet here I was, breathing steady, mind-focused, heart-controlled. When I walked into the office, Maya stopped me near the elevator. Wait, what happened to you? She asked, eyes wide. What do you mean? You look different, she said. Stronger. Like someone rewrote your entire personality overnight. I laughed softly. I'm just putting myself back together. Well, she said, nudging my shoulder, whatever you're doing, it's working. Everyone's talking about it. Everyone? That felt strange. For weeks I'd been the ghost in the background, the man people whispered about with pity. And now they were whispering again, but the tone had changed. Chloe met me in the training room with a bright smile. You're glowing today. Glowing? I echoed, raising an eyebrow. I'm serious, she said. Your voice is firmer, your shoulders are straight. You're becoming the version of yourself you always deserved to be. Hearing that made something warm spread through my chest. Thanks. I guess I'm finally starting to breathe normally. You're doing more than that, she said. You're rising. We practiced communication drills, and even she looked surprised when my words came out smooth and clear. You didn't stutter once, she pointed out. I didn't even think about it, I said. That's what confidence feels like, she replied gently. Later, my boss called me into his office. I've been watching you, he said. Whatever training you're doing with Grant, it's changing you. In a good way? In the best way. You're more focused, more decisive. Honestly, it feels like you're ready for more responsibility. I blinked at him. You really think so? Everyone does, he said. People respect you now. They listen when you speak. Respect. I wasn't sure when I lost it, but feeling it return hit me harder than I expected. That afternoon, while grabbing coffee, I overheard two coworkers whispering. "Did you hear Adrian's project got rejected again?" one said. "And he and Lena were arguing in the parking lot last night," the other added. My friend saw them. It looked bad. A soft hum settled in my chest. I didn't smile. I didn't gloat. I just listened. Back at my desk, Maya leaned over. "You probably don't want to hear this," she said, "but word is Adrian's having a rough time. Work trouble. Money trouble. Relationship mess." "I see," I said quietly. "You're not happy about that, right?" she asked. "I'm not anything about it," I replied. "I'm just moving forward." She nodded slowly. That's probably the strongest answer anyone could give. When I left the office that evening, Chloe caught up with me. "You heard about Adrian, didn't you?" "Yeah." "Does it make you feel better?" she asked. I took a long breath before answering. "Not better. Just balanced." She studied my face. "You're not the same person I met a month ago." "I know," I said. "I'm starting to see myself clearly." "Do you like what you see?" she asked quietly. For the first time, I didn't hesitate. "Yes, I do." Walking out of the building, I felt something shift. The world felt lighter and I felt heavier, in the right way, grounded and steady. They were falling apart, and I was finally rising. The message came in just as I was finishing my morning coffee. "Adrian." My chest tightened for a split second, then I swallowed the urge to react. His name on my phone felt like a challenge I didn't need to accept. "Ethan, I messed up. Can we talk? I need your help." I stared at the screen, reading and rereading it. "Help? After everything?" I almost laughed, but it was a quiet, bitter sound. I called Mason immediately. "You're not going to believe this," I said. "Adrian wants my help." Mason chuckled. "The same guy who broke your trust? Let me guess, he thinks you'll just forget." "I can't even," I muttered, tossing my phone onto the table. "I mean, what do you even say to that?" "Say nothing. Let him feel what he deserves," Mason said. "You've changed. Don't let him pull you back." I nodded, even though he couldn't see me. "Yeah," I'll reply calmly. "Or not at all." Then I typed a response, paused, deleted it, and finally just ignored the message. I didn't even leave it unread. I left it there, frozen in his notifications, and it felt satisfying. Later, Lena's name lit up my screen. "I miss what we had. Can we talk?" Her message made my fingers hesitate. My heart reacted before my mind did, a brief spike of nostalgia, but the moment passed. Her words were weak echoes of a love she abandoned for Adrian. I didn't reply. Not a word. I felt my control, my restraint, like armor, surrounding the parts of me that used to hurt for them. Silence became my weapon. At work, I overheard whispers from colleagues about Adrian and Lena. "Did you hear they fought at the gala?" one said. "I heard Adrian's company pulled funding and Lena was furious." I smiled, small and detached. Karma doesn't scream, it creeps in, subtle and patient. And it was creeping. Mason called again in the afternoon. "So, did the little betrayals catch up with them yet?" he asked, half teasing. "Apparently," I said, sipping my water. "Their relationship is unraveling fast. He's panicking, she's blaming everything except herself." "That's what I like to hear," Mason said. "Not for revenge, but because the universe has its balance." "Exactly," I said. "I don't even need to do anything. It's unfolding on its own." That night, I walked home in the quiet city streets. Lights reflected on wet asphalt from an earlier rain. I thought about my own transformation, the fire I'd felt after betrayal, the cold determination that replaced my despair. I thought about how Adrian and Lena had underestimated me. Their arrogance had blinded them. Mine had sharpened me. I sat on a bench near the park, hands in pockets, watching couples pass by. Some laughed, some argued, some held hands in silence. None of them were me. And that felt good. I wasn't looking for love tonight. I wasn't searching for validation. I was watching life move, learning patience, learning control. The phone buzzed again. Another message from Adrian, frantic, pleading. I looked at it and thought about all the nights I spent shaking, wondering if I could ever trust anyone again. Now, I didn't even flinch. I typed nothing. I put the phone in my pocket and exhaled slowly, feeling the weight of the old Ethan leave me. I was stronger, quieter, untouchable in ways I hadn't imagined months ago. Somewhere they were crumbling. I was rising. And for the first time in months I felt free. I never expected to see Lena again, not like this. She stood outside my apartment, rain dripping from her hair, eyes red and puffy. My chest tightened instantly, memories flashing like lightning, laughter, kisses, promises, and betrayal. Ethan, she whispered, voice trembling. Please, can we talk? I kept my distance, hands in pockets, heart hammering but mind razor sharp. I don't think that's a good idea, I said, though my voice sounded calmer than I felt. Tears rolled down her cheeks. Adrian, he ruined everything. He lied, he stole from me, from us. I was wrong. I want another chance. I clenched my jaw, feeling the familiar ache, the old fire that had built me back up now sparking again. A chance? I repeated, voice low, controlled. You mean after everything you did? After you broke me? She shook her head desperately. I didn't know. I thought, he said he loved me. Please, Ethan, just hear me out. I took a slow breath. Hear you out? Do you know what it's like to walk through days feeling hollow, betrayed by the one person I trusted most? My voice cracked, but I held my ground. Do you know the nights I spent replaying your lies, wondering if I was the problem? You destroyed me, Lena. Her shoulders shook. Ethan, I was stupid. No. I said louder than I intended. Heads turned from the street, but I didn't care. No excuses. No apologies. You chose someone else, someone shallow, and I was left alone to pick up the pieces you shattered. She dropped to her knees in the rain, sobbing, I can't lose you. I can't. I messed up. I stepped closer, towering over her despair but feeling strangely detached. My hands didn't shake. My heart didn't splinter. I had rebuilt too much. You did lose me, I said, voice calm but firm. And it's not something you can fix. You don't get another chance, Lena. You live with what you did. Her tears fell harder, her body shaking. Ethan, please? I shook my head slowly, my eyes not leaving hers. Please? No. You don't get please, after what you've done. I trusted you, loved you, and you chose lies over me. That chapter of my life is closed. She fell silent, just sobbing, her broken reflection mirrored in the wet pavement. I felt the old pain, yes, but it no longer controlled me. I had transformed that pain into armor, into clarity, into freedom. The Ethan who cried for her, begged for her, is gone. This Ethan stands taller, unshaken. After a long pause, I turned away, rain soaking my coat, streets glistening under the dim lights. She didn't move, didn't call after me. I didn't look back. Every step away from her was a step into my new life, stronger, smarter, untouchable by the ghosts of my past. I reached the end of the block and paused. I could hear her quiet, broken sobs fading behind me. The city felt alive, indifferent, and perfect. I breathed in the night air and felt a strange, exhilarating peace. Lena's tears could no longer touch me. Adrian's games could no longer haunt me. I was free from their chains. The storm around us mirrored the storm within me, but as I walked forward, the rain washing my shoulders, I realized something profound. Closure doesn't come from them, it comes from me. From my choices, my strength, my refusal to let the past define me. And in that moment I promised myself, nothing will ever break me again. Not betrayal, not heartbreak, not the lies of the people I loved. I'm my own master now. The past is behind me. The future is mine. Ethan, I want you to lead this project, Mr. Grant said, sliding a thick folder across the table. His eyes were sharp, unwavering, like he already knew I was ready. My stomach twisted, excitement and fear battling each other. Are you sure? I asked. This is huge. He nodded slowly. I've watched your growth. You're ready. Don't let the past hold you back. Let control make it yours. I took a deep breath, feeling every lesson I'd learned settle into my bones. The betrayal, the heartbreak, the nights I thought I'd never smile again. Now they were weapons, tools I could use. I won't let you down, I said, voice steady, stronger than I felt. Chloe appeared then, her quiet smile warm. You've got this, Ethan. I believe in you. I nodded, feeling a calm rush. Maya peeked in from the doorway, grinning. Finally. About time someone recognized your talent. Even my boss gave a rare approving nod. I felt powerful, validated, untouchable. Weeks passed in a whirlwind. Meetings, presentations, client calls. I used every ounce of discipline Mr. Grant had drilled into me. When conflict arose, I stayed calm. When decisions had to be made, I made them decisively. People listened. People followed. For the first time since the betrayal, I felt a true sense of command over my life. During a late evening call, Chloe said softly, "You're different now." Calm, confident, unshakable. I smiled, a genuine smile this time, not forced. I had to become this, I admitted. There was no other way. And then the news came. Adrian lost his job, his reckless mistakes finally catching up to him. Lena moved out after their constant fighting. I heard through the grapevine, not from them directly, but it didn't matter. Karma was in motion, silent and natural, just as I had always wanted. I didn't feel triumph or malice, only a quiet acknowledgement. Their suffering didn't define me. My progress did. One evening, I stayed late in the office watching the city lights flicker. Maya stopped by with coffee. "You've changed, Ethan. The old pain, it doesn't even touch you anymore." I took the cup, letting the warmth seep into my hands. "It shapes me," I said. "It never controls me again." Chloe lingered near my desk. "You're not just surviving anymore. You're thriving." I looked at her, feeling a twinge of gratitude. She had been there, steady when I had nothing else. "Thanks," I said quietly, "for believing when I couldn't believe in myself." The project reached its climax. I presented to the board, leading with precision and authority. Every question, every doubt I handled with calm expertise. I caught Chloe's proud glance and Maya's cheering nod from across the room. Mr. Grant's approving smile made the final sting of the past almost disappear. I realized then, this power, this confidence wasn't just for work. It was proof that I could stand taller than any betrayal, any heartbreak. Later that night, I walked through the empty streets, the air crisp against my skin. I thought of Adrian, of Lena, of the chaos they left behind. A flicker of old anger surfaced, but I pushed it down. It had no place here. Instead, I focused on the quiet pulse of my own strength, the life I was building on my own terms. I had risen higher than I ever imagined, not through revenge but through resilience, discipline, and patience. Standing on the bridge, city lights reflecting off the water, I whispered to myself, "This is only the beginning. Nothing can stop me now." And for the first time in years, I felt complete peace, untethered from the past, unafraid of the future. I had become the man who could not be broken again. The past was behind me. My rise was unstoppable. And I was just getting started. "Ethan, your presentation was flawless," Mr. Grant said, shaking my hand firmly. "The board is impressed." "Truly." I felt a heat rise in my chest, not anger, not shame, but pride. Real steady pride. After years of feeling small, invisible, and betrayed, this was validation I had built myself. Chloe smiled from across the room. "You did it," she said softly. Her quiet voice carried warmth I hadn't realized I was ready to accept. "I mean it, Ethan. You're incredible." I nodded, my lips twitching into a half smile. "Thanks. I just focused. That word sounded strange, almost foreign, but it fit. Every sleepless night, every hour spent mastering myself, every shred of pain from Lena and Adrian, it had all led here. I finally understood something vital. My worth wasn't tied to anyone else's love or betrayal. It came from me, from my growth, my discipline, my ability to stand tall when everything had tried to crush me. Maya appeared, carrying a cup of coffee. "You've changed," she said, eyes bright. "Not just your confidence, everything about you. People notice. They respect you. You're unshakable." I laughed lightly, a sound I hadn't made in months. "Unshakable," I repeated. "I like that. Feels right." Chloe stepped closer, her hand brushing mine accidentally. I felt a spark, gentle but undeniable. "Ethan," she said, hesitating, "I've seen you fight through everything. You deserve someone who sees that. Someone who actually cares." My heart thumped strangely. I'd been so focused on rising that I hadn't even considered letting someone in. But her honesty, her calm presence, it was different. And I realized I was ready. "Chloe," I started, then paused. I wanted to say something meaningful, something that wouldn't fall flat, because I'd learned the hard way that words could wound or heal. "I trust you," I finally said, voice low but firm. "More than I thought I could trust anyone." Her smile widened. "Good. That's all I need to hear." The board members left, leaving the office quiet. I leaned back, letting my eyes drift to the city skyline outside. The lights shimmered like sparks of possibility. For the first time in years, I could see my future clearly. I wasn't just surviving. I wasn't just healing. I was building a life of my own, brick by brick, strength by strength. Adrian's name floated through my mind briefly. Lena's too. A faint shadow of old anger appeared, but I pushed it down. Those days were gone. I didn't need revenge anymore. Karma had done its work quietly, naturally, and now it was my turn to live without bitterness. I had transformed, and nothing, no betrayal, no heartbreak, could undo it. Chloe looked at me again, eyes curious. "What now?" she asked. "Now," I said, a firm smile spreading across my face. I keep rising. I keep building. I become the man I was always meant to be. Her hand found mine again, firmer this time. I felt the warmth, the trust, and it grounded me. I had fought through pain, endured heartbreak, and faced myself in the mirror when I didn't recognize the reflection. But now I saw clearly, a man who could handle life, love, and loss with strength, composure, and grace. I straightened my shoulders, took a deep breath, and looked ahead. The horizon was wide, limitless, and mine to conquer. Chloe smiled beside me, and for the first time, I allowed myself to imagine a future full of hope, partnership, and power. I had gone from broken to unstoppable. I had reclaimed my life. And I knew without a doubt that this was only the beginning of the man I was meant to be. The moment came sooner than I expected. Lena appeared at my office door, eyes red, lips trembling. "Ethan, please, I made a mistake. I can fix this," she stammered. I felt the old familiar twist in my chest, the urge to forgive, to reach out. But I didn't. I couldn't. Not anymore. "I loved you, Lena," I said, my voice steady, stronger than I realized. "But you destroyed that love. You can't fix it. And I won't let you." Her tears fell freely now, and I watched, unmoved, as the weight of her regret finally settled on her. Please, Ethan. Just one chance," she whispered, desperate. I shook my head, calm, silent, letting her words fade into nothing. Before she could say more, Adrian appeared, awkward and ashamed, his usual arrogance gone. "Ethan, I screwed up. I know that. Please just hear me out," he said, voice low, hesitant. I looked at him, and for a fraction of a second, I remembered the friend I had once trusted. But that version of Adrian no longer existed. "I heard you, Adrian," I said slowly, measuring each word. "And I've listened long enough. You betrayed me, and you betrayed trust itself. There's nothing left for you here." His shoulders slumped, the bravado drained, replaced with something weaker, guilt, shame, fear. He opened his mouth, tried to speak again, but I stopped him with a quiet, final tone. "Go. Leave me out of your mistakes." Lena sobbed, Adrian's eyes filled with pain, and for the first time in months, I felt a strange serenity. No trembling hands. No broken voice. No fire of anger consuming me. Just peace. I had finally taken back control. "You're different," Lena whispered, disbelief lining her voice. "You're not the same man I knew." I let a small smile touch my lips. "No, I'm better. I learned from what you did. I rose because of it, not in spite of it." She flinched at the truth, knowing it was final. Adrian tried again, softer, almost pleading. "Ethan, I'm sorry. I never meant." I cut him off. "Intentions mean nothing when actions destroy lives. You'll live with your choices. I'll live with mine. That's the difference." I watched them leave together, side by side but broken, faces pale, energy defeated. And as the door closed, a weight lifted from my chest. Years of pain, betrayal, and heartache had been transformed into lessons, into strength, into unshakable resolve. I realized then that every sleepless night, every tear, every moment I felt worthless, had all been necessary to become the man I am today. Chloe appeared quietly at my side. "You okay?" she asked gently. I nodded, a calm smile on my face. "Better than okay. I finally chose myself. And it feels right." She took my hand, and I felt a warmth that no apology or regret could replace. I turned to the window, looking out over the city skyline. It stretched endlessly, full of opportunity, challenge, and promise. I breathed in deeply, feeling the power of my own growth, the unshakable certainty of my path. Lena and Adrian had their regret. I had my life. And this life, I would protect it, nurture it, and build upon it with every ounce of strength I had discovered. No one could take that away from me. Not betrayal. Not lies. Not even the people who had once meant the world to me. Because I had finally understood. The past only holds power if you let it. And I refused. I whispered to myself, a quiet vow of triumph. I am the master of my fate. I am unstoppable. And you will never control me again. And with that, I turned away from the door, away from their shadows, and toward the path ahead, bright, wide, and mine to conquer. The boardroom felt alive today, buzzing with energy and expectation. I walked in with my head held high, suit crisp, eyes clear. No tremor in my hands, no shadow of doubt lingering in my chest. "Ethan," Mr. Grant said, his voice calm but filled with pride. "You've earned this. Congratulations on the promotion." I nodded, letting a small, controlled smile show. "Thank you. For everything," I said. His eyes flickered with approval, that silent acknowledgement of how far I'd come. Chloe was there too, leaning slightly against the wall, her soft smile steadying me. "You did it," she said quietly, almost to herself. I caught her gaze and returned a genuine smile, one that had nothing to do with anyone else, just me and the life I was building. "We did it," I corrected gently because she had been there too, helping me speak, helping me learn, helping me stand again when the weight of my past threatened to crush me. The chairman rose, clapping slowly. "Ethan, your ideas have transformed our projections. Your leadership has inspired the team. This promotion is long overdue." I accepted the folder with the official papers, my fingers steady, my heart calm. I remembered the nights I cried alone, the moments Adrian and Lena haunted my thoughts. None of that mattered anymore. All that pain, that betrayal, had built me into this, resilient, focused, unshakable. Later, Chloe walked beside me in the quiet hallway. "Do you feel different?" she asked softly. I looked at her, a warmth blooming inside that had nothing to do with revenge, anger, or betrayal. "I feel free," I said. "Free from what I was. Free to be who I am now." She smiled, squeezing my hand gently. "And you've earned every bit of it," she said. Her words didn't just comfort me, they anchored me in the present, away from shadows of the past. I thought of Adrian, of Lena, of the mistakes that once tore me apart. I realized I didn't feel anger or desire for payback anymore. I felt peace. I had survived betrayal, heartbreak, and humiliation, and emerged stronger than I had ever imagined. My mind was clear. My path, my decisions, and my future, entirely my own. Mr. Grant joined us in the hallway, his sharp eyes soft with pride. "You've mastered more than leadership, Ethan," he said. "You've mastered yourself. That's the real victory." I nodded, understanding fully for the first time what he meant. Every lesson, every hard day, every sleepless night, it wasn't about proving anyone wrong. It was about proving to myself that I mattered, that my life had value, and that my choices could shape my destiny. Chloe looked up at me, curiosity in her eyes. "So, what now?" she asked. I took a deep breath, feeling the air fill my lungs with possibility. "Now," I said slowly, deliberately, "I live my life on my terms. I build, I grow, I love carefully, I lead without fear. I don't let the past dictate me. I'm ready for everything that comes next." I stepped to the window, looking over the city that had once felt like a cage. Now it stretched out before me, vast and full of opportunity. The betrayal that had once destroyed me, the heartbreak that had once consumed me, all of it had been a forge. I had walked through fire, and I had emerged unbroken, unbowed, unstoppable. I whispered to myself, a vow that tasted of triumph and clarity. My pain built me. My betrayal shaped me. My strength saved me. And now, I choose my own fate. And with that, I turned away from the window, from the past, from all the shadows that once haunted me. Ahead lay everything I had earned, my life, my future, my victory.